Thousands of motorcyclists, they rev up their engines and head to one of the world's foremost motorcycling and sports car touring roads. It's called the Tail of the Dragon.
Ooh, this favorite roadway begins at Deals Gap on the Tennessee-North Carolina state line and goes on for 11 miles on US 129 in Tennessee. Now, according to motorcyclist experts, there's really no other road like it.
And joining us to talk more about what makes the Tail of the Dragon such a big attraction is Rich Johnson with tailofthedragon.com. Thanks for joining us this morning, Rich. And the first question is obvious. Why is it called Tail of the Dragon?
Well, it's called the Tail of the Dragon because when you're riding it on a motorcycle and all the curves come at you pretty fast, it's kind of like a tail whipping on a mad dragon.
Well, then that's a perfect name for it. So what makes it such a great ride for motorcycle riders in particular?
Well, it's a very special road. We've never found any other road like it. And the 318 curves, no two curves are alike. There's not very much elevation change, but it's kind of like riding a roller coaster. And there's no properties, no houses, no intersecting roads. It's just pure road.
Wow, sounds fantastic. You mentioned over 300 curves. Do some of these curves have, I hear they have special names, right?
Right. We've named probably about 30 of the different curves. Some of the most interesting one is called the gravity cavity, and it's kind of like driving down into a bowl and with a twist going in and a twist coming out. There's also a couple of historic corners. Baz Shaw was killed in the Civil War, and he's buried next to the road, and we call that Shaw Grave Gap. There's also toll booth where the landowner used to collect tolls from the passing people through the area.
Nice. We are showing some of the video of a ride, and I would imagine that any time of year this ride is spectacular, but you must have experienced some pretty crazy weather too. What's weather-related tricks here of the trade if you're doing this route?
The blizzard of '93 was probably the most extensive. It had 3 to 4 feet of snow, hundreds of trees down, and the road was closed for a week. One day, my wife and I were riding back from Atlanta into North Carolina, and actually, as soon as we hit the Dragon, it started snowing pretty heavy. And that was a pretty hairy crossing over the mountain into North Carolina.
Wow, and I used to ride a motorcycle in college. I know winter was my least favorite time.
Yeah.
What's the best time of the year to ride the Dragon?
There's two of our favorite times. One is late April. The trees are just starting to turn green. It's really a pretty time. And of course, the fall colors, late October and early November. It's a very good time to come.
And I'm a bit of a pop culture junkie a little bit, and I hear it's famous in some movies. What movies have been shot here along the route? Probably
the most scenes appear in the 1971 cult classic, Two-Lane Blacktop. There's about 10 minutes of video on the Dragon, and that was the only movie that the singer James Taylor ever appeared in because they found out he couldn't act.
Well, there you go. A little bit of movie trivia along with everything else. Ron, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you all.